Jakarta burns. Protesters clash with police, lawmakers retreat, and a president faces the greatest test of his rule. What began as fury over lavish perks has exploded into deadly unrest, killing, torching, shaking markets, and forcing Indonesia's leader to cancel a global summit. Amid fire, fury, and fear, Prabowo Subianto vows to strip Parliament's privileges and crush the chaos threatening Southeast Asia's giant. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto moved swiftly on August 31st to calm a nation gripped by unrest, announcing concessions to Parliament's controversial perks, while warning that violence on the streets would not be tolerated. Speaking from the presidential palace, flanked by political party leaders, Prabowo declared that housing allowances and other privileges for lawmakers would be revoked, and overseas trips would be placed under a moratorium.
Kemudian,
the leaders of the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia have conveyed that several parliamentary policies will be revoked. These include the reduction of allowances for members of the House, as well as a moratorium on overseas work visits. The chairmen of political parties have also taken firm steps, with certain members being dismissed from their seats in the House of Representatives. Furthermore, both the parliamentary leadership and the chairmen of political parties, through their respective faction leaders, have emphasized that members of the House must remain sensitive to the aspirations of the people and must always stand firmly on the side of the public interest.
The Indonesian president, however, also made clear that the state's patience had limits, vowing firm action against those engaging in violence. Police backed the warning, promising decisive but measured enforcement. Over 300 officers were dispatched across Jakarta as foreign embassies, including the US, Japan, Australia and Singapore, advised their citizens to steer clear of protest areas. Prabowo's address came after days of mounting anger. The unrest was sparked by Parliament's decision to grant lawmakers a housing allowance almost 10 times the monthly minimum wage, a move that collided with a backdrop of tax hikes, inflation, and mass layoffs hitting ordinary Indonesians hard. Public fury reached a boiling point after the death of motorcycle taxi driver Afan Kurniawan, run over by a police tactical vehicle during a demonstration. His death galvanized protests into nationwide outrage. In Jakarta, thousands took to the streets, torching government buildings and forcing luxury showrooms to pull vehicles off display in fear of a repeat of the 1998 riots that brought down Suharto. In Makassar, 3 people were killed when a parliament building was set ablaze. In Bandung, roads were blocked and clashes erupted with police. Even senior officials were not spared from public anger. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati's residence came under attack, though guards repelled the crowd. Lawmaker Ahmad Saroni's Jakarta home was looted, with rioters hauling away household furniture. The market response was immediate. Indonesia's benchmark index slid 1.5% on August 29th, the worst performing primary index globally that day, while the rupiah came under pressure, reflecting investor unease. The crisis has disrupted Indonesia's global diplomacy. On August 30th, Prabowo scrapped a planned trip to Tianjin, China, where leaders including Vladimir Putin, Narendra Modi, and Anwar Ibrahim were gathering for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. State Secretary Prasetyo Hadi explained the move in a late-night statement.
Due to domestic dynamics, the President wishes to continue to monitor the situation directly, as well as to lead directly and seek the best solution.
The cancellation underscores how domestic unrest has shaken the world's 4th most populous nation. With demonstrators still on the streets and more protests planned, the government appears unwilling to risk the president's absence. Adding to tensions, social media has become a battlefield. TikTok suspended its live feature in Indonesia after users broadcast the protests in real time. the Ministry of Communications urged both ByteDance and Meta platforms to step up moderation, saying disinformation had fueled unrest. Anger has been intensified by insensitive remarks from lawmakers. Ahmad Saroni, already targeted by looters, recently dismissed critics of Parliament as the stupidest people in the world. The backlash has deepened resentment against political elites. Demonstrations have spread beyond the capital, even reaching Bali, where tear gas was used against crowds. In Jakarta, police blocked access to the Sudirman Central Business District, home to the Indonesian Stock Exchange and several international banks. On August 31st, Prabowo hardened his tone, calling elements of the protests a threat to national security.
Hak untuk berkumpul.
The right to peaceful assembly must be respected and protected. However, we cannot deny that there are already visible signs of actions outside the law, even against the law, and some of these are leading towards treason and terrorism. To the police and the Indonesian National Armed Forces, I order the firmest actions be taken against all forms of destruction of public facilities, the looting of private homes, public places, or economic centers in accordance with existing laws. To all citizens, I urge you to convey your genuine aspirations properly and peacefully. We guarantee that these voices will be heard, recorded, and acted upon. My fellow citizens, I will also ask the leaders of the House of Representatives to immediately invite community leaders, student representatives, and figures from groups wishing to express their aspirations, so that they may be properly received and engaged in direct dialogue.
He warned that attacks on public facilities and private homes would not be tolerated. The military has been placed on standby alongside police to prevent further escalation. Amid Indonesia's turmoil, another major development underscored the country's role in regional security. On August 31st, Indonesian police announced the extradition of Sri Lanka's most wanted fugitive, Mandinu Padmasiri Pereira, better known as Kehel Badara Padme. Padme, accused of orchestrating the February courtroom murder of a rival in Colombo and linked to a dozen other killings and drug crimes, was arrested in Jakarta alongside 5 associates. A Sri Lankan woman from the gang was deported separately the day before. The group was flown out on Saturday aboard a commercial flight, escorted by Indonesian officers and received at Colombo International Airport by Sri Lanka's Public Security Minister Ananda Wijapala.
I express my thanks to the government of Indonesia and the Indonesian police for helping us bring down a most dangerous criminal gang.
Sri Lankan police said the operation, conducted with assistance from 2 Sri Lankan officers and an Indian intelligence agency, was the largest overseas raid to target fugitives operating from abroad. The arrests highlight Indonesia's dual role, a country grappling with its own domestic unrest while simultaneously acting as a key partner in regional law enforcement. In Sri Lanka, the crackdown comes amid a surge in gang violence. According to police data, 42 people have been killed in 80 gang-related shootings this year alone. Authorities hope the extradition of Padme and his associates will deliver a significant blow to organised crime networks.